Well, folks, it's Bruce here from the Coasters Club, and I've been doing some research. I was up in Westport recently, and I come across a photograph taken in 1957. It was the class of '57 at Buller High, and there was a name in there that I've heard pop up on several occasions over the years, and I thought we'd better go and try and find him. His name's Graham Roberts, and here I am in Nelson. I found Graham. Graham, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Sure.
I really appreciate it. Now, you've got quite a story. You've got quite a story. Whereabouts were you born?
I was born in Westport in 1942.
So you'd have been was it Romley Street?
No, we lived on the corner of Peel and Mill Street.
But where was the maternity home then in that?
That would have been in, was it Queen Street or Russell Street?
You did right. You absolutely did right.
Yeah.
So who were your mum and dad? What did they do?
Dad worked for Bailey and Co. in Westport. And my mother worked, before they were married, she worked for Fairs.
Oh gosh, I remember both.
And later on, Bailey and Co. became Foodstuffs. And Dad became manager of Foodstuffs Westport.
And so that would have been in probably the early 50s?
No, Foodstuffs took over Bailey and Co. in Westport in 65.
Oh gosh.
In 65.
So where was your first home? When Mum brought you home from the home, where was it?
We lived on the corner of Peel and Mill Street.
Peel and Mill.
Mill Street, big old villa house.
Okay. When you're a child, can you remember what you and your family did for fun as kids? Because it's changed these days. But what did you do?
Well, Dad used to go fishing quite a bit off the breakwater. And then probably in those days we had bikes. We used to ride bikes around.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
Or go swimming at the North Beach.
So snapper off the breakwater?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's a bit harder to catch one these days.
True.
Do you ever recall talking to your grandparents?
Yes, my grandparents lived in Fonblanc Street and lived right opposite the Countdown, which in that era was called Clifton Store, owned by the Johnson family. And then the Hartleys bought it off them.
And is the Countdown store, is that where the big supermarket is now?
Yes.
Okay, so right on the corner or the one next to the corner?
It was halfway along, and because there was a house on the corner of Queen Street and Fonblanc Street, and I can't recall who. I think Ross Burrows may have lived in there one part of it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Now, I understand you attended a famous primary school.
Yes, I think you might have done the same thing. South School.
It's a good school, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes.
In fact, I was there recently, and I was surprised that it looked the same.
It doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all.
And where did you attend high school?
Buller High at the time, yeah. And J.D. McDonald was the principal.
That was before my time.
You probably would have been, yes, yeah.
Did you do a trade?
I worked for the post office as a automatic telephone exchange technician. And I worked for the post office in Westport for 4 years. Then went to the North Island.
Well, we'll come back to that. Did you have a favourite subject at school? Did you have one that you can turn around and say, actually, I really liked it?
Maths was one of the ones I liked.
Was it? Well, that's quite unusual.
Yeah.
I like tennis, but
Yeah,
it wasn't.
fair enough.
But it wasn't a subject.
No.
What about a favourite teacher? Did you have a favourite teacher?
Oh, some of them were all pain in the asses, actually.
Yeah, they were.
Without any favourite ones, no.
And were you into sports?
No, not a lot, no.
If one of your close friends back then,
Yes.
if I said to him, I want you to describe Graham, what would he have said? What would he say to me?
Well, probably the 3 or 4 of us that used to kick around together were mad on cars in that era. Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll move on to the jobs. You clearly were a very loyal New Zealand postman.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
I spent over 10 years with New Zealand Post, and or post office it was in those days. And from I left Westport and then went to Matamata for 12 months as they were building a new automatic telephone exchange there. Then I was promoted back to Hokitika, where I lived for 4 years, and
Where did you live in Hoki?
Rolleston Street.
Goodness me, I was in Jolly.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, just one block over from
Yes, yes. And then the Haas Pass went through, but before that there was a group of us put in new automatic telephone exchanges in Franz Joseph Glacier, Fox Glacier, and the Tourist Hotel Corporation.
So the big new THC that got flooded away, you were... Oh, goodness
That
me.
was there, yeah.
Wow.
And then I remember being there one day and walking in there, and the lady sitting behind the reception was busy knitting. And who should it be but it was old Mrs. Ma Hunter. And everybody that went to South School at my era would remember Ma Hunter.
And she turned up in South Western.
And she was hair manager, she was in charge of the housekeeping at the hotel.
Well, do you remember any of the guys that you worked with in the post office?
Oh yes, I've still got a very good friend of mine who's in Auckland, and he was the senior technician in charge of their telephone exchange. There was a recent article on him by a guy by the name of Ray Urban.
Right.
And he was on TV in Auckland one morning, out jogging as he does so at 88.
Oh, you joke? Oh,
No.
he's in good nick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. The technology changed a bit.
Yeah, definitely changed a hell of a lot. Yes. Yeah.
Was it kind of like I was a Sparky and the telephone stuff was way beyond me, but was it mechanical?
It was mechanical in that area, but of course today it's all digital.
Yeah, it's changed. You left the coast.
Yeah, left the coast and went and worked in Christchurch for 5 years. Then decided it was too damn cold on Christchurch in winter time and too smoggy, so I shifted to Nelson.
Enjoyed it?
Definitely.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Been very good to me, Nelson.
Yeah. Now, how old were you when you first started dating?
Probably 20.
Do you remember your first date?
I can remember a couple of them, yes.
It's a good man that can do that. Now, do you have a current wife?
No.
Don't? Oh, in that case, we won't go there. How long were you married to your wife?
I wasn't married.
Oh, you weren't married?
No.
Okay.
Never been married.
Okay,
No,
so
single.
that'll be why you're in such good condition.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. During your lifetime, what are the most important? What are the things from an invention point of view that you've seen that where you've gone, wow? Is there anything? Do you remember the first TV in Greenwoods there?
No, I don't remember those in Greenwoods, but I remember I was living in Christchurch and I was having a beer one night with some guys from Ford Motor Company, and they said, we're having a competition and the colour TV is the prize. And I said, well, don't worry about the competition, just send me the TV now. 3 months later they sent it to me, didn't they? I'd won the competition.
What was it? What was the competition? Was it?
It was the time that Bill Rowling, as Prime Minister, put up all the sales tax on 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder cars. So that's why Ford were having a competition to move stock on.
You'll remember when Bill Rowling, of course, lived in Westport.
Yes, and he lived in Richmond.
As well?
Yes.
Was he following you or were you following him?
I don't know, but I remember walking out of my shop one morning and here he was on the Saturday morning and had just been announced that he was to be Sir William Rowling. And I said to him, "G'day, Sir Bill." And he turned around and he said, "You cheeky young bugger Roberts."
I played tennis with him. He was a really nice guy.
He was a good guy.
You know, during your life, have you ever come across somebody who you sat down, had a beer with, or just talked to, and he's changed the direction you were going?
Yeah, probably some coppers in Christchurch, yeah.
And a good direction?
Yeah.
Good change?
Yeah, definitely. Getting out of the government.
Yes. Has there ever been anything that you wanted to do that you haven't done?
No, not really. No. In latter years, it's possibly having the money to do these things sometimes.
I think it's a life thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all deal with. The if there was one thing that was completely memorable in your life? Was there something that where you go, well, I did this, I won this, or I crashed that, or
I had probably had a couple of memorable experiences. One was going to Formula One motor racing in Melbourne, in the corporate box compliments of Foster's beer.
I've never done that. That'd be great. That
And
would
then
be.
there was another one with the Karuba Rum Company going to Jamaica. It was 25 of us went, and that was excellent.
Now tell me, after you left the Her Majesty's service in the government, what did you do then?
I sold motor cars for Hutchison Bonus in Christchurch.
Okay. Oh, so you really are a Ford man,
Yes.
and you enjoy that?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, but it was the weather in winter, and I decided to get out of Christchurch with the winter and that.
And so when you come up here, did you retire or did you carry on selling cars?
No, I was too young to retire. I had bought a wine shop
Right.
and had a wine shop for quite a number of years, and they changed the licenses so that I had became a liquor store. So I had a liquor store, and I had about 30 odd years in the liquor trade, then retired.
And that would have hard work, but relatively rewardable.
Well, it was good work. It was good work. It was enjoyable, and but unfortunately, then when the government changed all the laws and let liquor into beer and wine into supermarkets, it didn't help the small wine shops.
How often do you get back to the coast?
Well, probably maybe twice a year. Not a lot these days. No, with my parents passing on, I don't go there that much now.
Have you seen, when you do go back, do you see changes?
I don't think so. Not a lot. When I go back to Westport, no. Maybe changes for the worse sometimes, I think.
In what way, Graham? You know?
Unemployment
Yeah.
and jobs for people there.
Well, I guess that downturn in the coal was pretty traumatic, wasn't it?
Yes, and the works closing.
Yeah, that was.
I just came across an article the other day in early 1959 how the cement works was the saviour for the Buller. Unfortunately, it's not there today.
1959.
Yes.
Yeah, I worked as an apprentice sparky for Connor and Blackmore out there in
Right.
68, 69,
Yes.
70.
Yes.
And it was a thriving place. And I guess wandering around Westport now, I bump into a lot of people who have connections to the cement
Oh,
works
yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people.
where the jobs are kind of gone and
Yes.
they're looking for the new direction.
Yes, that's right.
Well, what I can tell you is that tourism
Yes.
is certainly in the southern part of the coast
Right.
very, very busy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and getting, well, I think we had 1.1 million tourists
Right.
through Hokitika last year.
Yes. Yes.
So quite staggering.
It would be. Yeah.
So anyone you'd like to say hello to, just in case they're out there watching, and I know what's going to happen when this gets loaded up. You'll have a bunch of people who you haven't heard from for years.
Yes.
They're suddenly going to go, Graham, what are you doing? Anyone you want to say hello to?
I just say hello to all my friends, and nice to hear from you.
Well, folks, a very interesting discussion, and that's Graham Roberts. Now, I know a lot of you in Westport will remember him, and I was lucky enough to catch him here in Nelson on a beautiful day, and it's very hard for me to say, come back to the coast, Graham, when I see what you've got here. So we'll catch you later, and thank you so much.